Meeting of the Scituate Board of Health. You all set? Meeting of the Scituate Board of Health, Monday, April 30th, 2018, Selectmen Chambers, Town Hall, 6 p.m. Make a motion to call to order, accept the agenda.
I'll make a motion to open the meeting of Monday, April 30th, Scituate Town Hall Board of Health.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, scheduled items. Discuss and vote septic system design hearing, 62 Glades Road, Westgate Survey and Engineer, homeowner request of installation of septic system requiring local upgrades and variances.
Which one's this?
62 Glades?
He's not here yet.
Okay,
Okay.
then we'll move on. Discuss and septic design hearing for Prospect Lane, Proscript Lane, Cavanaugh Consultant, representing homeowners' request for installation of septic system requiring local upgrades and variances.
Good evening.
How are you? You just want to state your name and,
I'm John Cavanaugh from Cavanaugh Consulting in Norwell, and I'm here with Michelle and Rob Skolnick, the owners of 4 Postscript Lane in Scituate.
okay,
And this is an existing 2-bedroom dwelling.
Okay. And you have the butters cut.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry. So here are our notification to abutters, the green cards received to date and the white cards for green cards that have not been received.
Hey, I'm going to interrupt you for 1
Yes.
second. Just a note, I don't think there's any problem with this, but I've done business with the Skolnicks in the past. Matter of fact, I put your float out this spring, but I don't see any indifference. I think the business is no connection, but I just, for the record,
okay.
yeah, but
And do you guys have any problem with that? No. So,
there you go, all right.
we're all good.
Yeah, just
Thank you.
rather be
You don't have a
crystal
problem
clear
with
and,
the beard? Is the beard fine?
We're all in honor of that.
Is the float still up?
yeah.
So this is Rob and Michelle's historically seasonal home. They're longtime residents of Hummerock. They have relatives next door. They're lifelong 4th generation occupants in this neighborhood. So they've come to a point where they'd like to make this a permanent residence long-term. So we're in the process of applying to both CBA, and we've had our hearing with the Conservation Commission, and they unanimously were supportive of the project. They were reluctant to close the hearing only because we were still scheduled to be in front of you folks, so they wanted to give you that benefit of hearing and hopefully closing this evening, so that when we go back to them on Monday, we're in a good position to button up with them. But as far as what we're presenting to you this evening, it's a pretty straightforward system. Right now, we have an existing cesspool that discharges directly from the house. There's no primary settling tank. There's just a good old-fashioned honey pot in the sand. So we're replacing that with a conventional system, gravity flow, tank, D-box, and infiltration units. We're essentially able to make this as conforming as possible, with the exception of getting a little tight to the property lines due to the size of the lot and some of the restrictions from buffer zones. So we're trying to keep the field itself out of any areas that would potentially be servicing for driveways and parking. We like to not put any systems on beneath a parking area. So what we're seeking this evening is a setback variance from 10 feet to 5 feet to property line, and 10 feet to 9 feet to the field, and a sonotube type foundation. So we won't have a full basement here. We're actually making the house currently non-flood compliant, and we're gonna put it on piers to make it a flood compliant dwelling. So we're.
Did you guys take water the last storm? Yeah.
At least 3 times.
This winter was terrible. Terrible. I had water in my basement for, I think, for nine days. Wouldn't go out. Just stayed in. Yeah, so that's nice. You'll be, yeah, good for you.
Right, yeah. So we'll come back with a deed restriction.
Right. Yeah, I don't have a problem with it. It is Bound by land down there, so it is what it is.
Yeah, no, it's an improvement.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's better than a cesspool, for sure, 100%. Yep.
Jen, these four are still accurate?
So the revised, so I had provided the board a copy of the 4 comments that I provided to Brendan, since he was interacting with me on this one. The first comment was a note about the scale, that's been corrected. As John just said, a 2-bedroom deed restriction will need to be filed before the certificate of compliance is issued, so you and I will work together to get that paperwork filled out and filed with the registry. So that doesn't need to be addressed at this point. Comment 3 was needing the abutters cards and the letters, so that was received to open this. And then I spoke to Brendan today about number 4. It says, with a property line survey being needed, and he said that that had been completed and was able to be provided.
Yes, we're stamped it
With
with
his
a
stamp,
professional
yeah.
land surveyor.
So all the comments have been addressed.
Excellent. And you're okay with this motion? And Concon, you said you had already done before Concon, but this says pending approval by Concon, so is Concon
Yeah,
not
so
approved, or they?
it's not officially closed. They wanted you guys to
Okay,
vote on it so that now we can close next Monday.
okay,
So based on your vote, I'll let their agent, Amy, know the conclusion so that they can potentially close appropriately.
roughly, okay.
Yeah, 100%. It's,
All right, make a motion, move to approve the septic repair plan pending approval by the Conservation Commission with the local upgrades requested that include, number 1, reduction in the setback between the SAS and the slab from required 10 feet to 9 feet. Number 2, reduction in setback between the septic tank and the slab from required 10 feet to 9 feet. And with the following 2 variances as requested. Reduction in the required setback between SAS and property line from 10 feet to 5 feet. And number 2, reduction in the required setbacks between the septic tank and the property line from 10 feet to 5 feet.
second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much.
You're
Appreciate it.
welcome.
Thank you, Jen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That was good. Thanks for having the butters system.
Yeah, Jen, how many
Yep,
butters?
you got it.
Is
Perfect.
just one, or is it 2?
2.
2.
Thank you.
Thank you. Wait.
Thanks, John.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Thanks so much.
Bye.
Okay, so the other one's not here yet. Discuss and vote non-compliance of failed septic system, 41 Utility Road, McDonough.
So fill us in, Jen.
So I spoke with Mr. McDonough a couple of hours ago, and he indicated that for personal reasons, he would not be able to attend tonight's meeting.
Excuse me.
He had inquired as to what potentially might be discussed, and I told him that it was my belief that you would look to discuss the status of the order that you issued 60 days ago at the previous meeting, which was the required items for perk tests and an engineered plan being completed and submitted to our office by April 27th. He indicated to me that he has not completed those actions for personal reasons. We reviewed the need to have those actions completed in order for you, the board, to allow them to participate in the program, that is how you determine funding that he receives. So to date, the actions that you required have not been completed.
Okay, so. Jen, I do not see a motion here, is this, yes, it is. Well, I don't know, what's everybody else's feelings? Well,
I don't know, it's like nothing is done over nothing to nothing.
Right.
Yeah, I provided you with a summary of the entire case to date, which started on April 7, 2014, and has continued through April 30th of 2018. They've been before you, or have been scheduled to be before you, 2, 4, 6, this is now the 8th time since October.
I mean, have they even scheduled a perk test?
No.
So none of the stuff for the 27th has come in?
No. Nope, they have not filed an application for a perk test. He's indicated that, due to cost, they haven't done that, and I have indicated in response today that the board cannot allow them to participate in the program without having an engineered plan. The first step of an engineered plan is a perk test, and they either need to provide those costs up front, or
Make a deal.
or contact one of the number of engineers that submit plans to our office and indicate to that engineer that they are participating in the program, work with them on deferred payment until the program is initiated, and work to find an engineer who's willing to work within the program.
And we've given them the list of engineers and people that do it, right?
I've given him the list of the engineers on
I think I
several
saw that, yeah,
occasions, and it's on our website.
Okay.
So my personal recommendation to you, is that you require them to have those things again completed, with yet another deadline, this time of May 30th. That will allow me the opportunity to review the plan in advance, such that when the funding becomes available, on or after July 1st, they are ready to go. That we're not waiting yet another several months for the plan to be drawn up, be reviewed, et cetera, et cetera.
So you're actually suggesting another 30-day extension on what we've already
Correct,
given?
correct.
And the only thing I would just say, like to add, is have him be here at our next meeting. I mean, go with that motion, but then to review it, make sure he understands everything.
Review it with him yourselves.
Yeah.
Because at this point, it's, the 30-day extension is being generous with what's going on. I mean, at this point, I think the last time we discussed is going the other way, of condemnation to force the issue.
Right.
Yep. Yep.
I mean, that's the way we stood the last time we left the meeting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But we also, left the meeting last time not knowing how town meeting would vote
Right.
on funding.
Right.
So the town has generously voted CPC funds to be used for this program.
But
So-
either way, even if the town funded it or not funded it, we asked for perk tests,
I know,
and there's not even anything scheduled.
agreed,
Yeah,
agreed.
yeah, it's kind of like,
And I had not heard from them in 60 days.
yeah.
Until
At least
today.
inquiring, what the process would be since, I haven't heard from them since,
Town meeting.
town meeting, asking what the process would be. I heard from them today.
I mean, my gut's telling me to go the other way with the condemnation, but if you're suggesting another 30 days, then I'm gonna bite my lower lip and agree to go with what your suggestion. And
That's why we vote, Russell.
what's that?
That's why we vote.
That's why we vote, I know, and I'm gonna, that's the way I'm looking at it. If
Okay,
the,
Rudolph?
what's that? Well, no, if the agent is suggesting, then I'll go along with it, Mike.
But I also think we need to have him here on the next meeting, no ifs, ands, or buts, or someone.
Or someone, a representative, sure. I mean, it's kind of like in your face, no show. They did a couple of no-shows. That's why I say my gut tells me just to go the other way. But again, if the agent's suggesting 30 days, then I'll,
And it is a tight schedule, so they've made the choice to not do anything in 60 days for their own personal reasons. But now they're on a tight schedule. They have 30 days to find somebody who's willing to work within the program, schedule and do a perk test, and work within a design engineer's schedule. And trust me when I say they're already very busy, to submit a plan to us in 30 days,
well, we've been talking about this for, it's been too long.
since
It's-
October.
Yeah,
Well, actually, since the previous agent reached out to them 4 years ago.
right. But there was one meeting where it looked promising, and they came in and had nothing, and that was an extension at that time, too. That's why my gut just tells me I'm done, but again, I'll play. So I guess that's where I'm at.
Do you want to make the motion? And then just add that, the 15th.
With the owners required to be at the next board meeting, I think it's the 14th.
May 14th?
Yeah, I think it's May 14th.
May
But you
14th.
want them at the, you want them at the next meeting, you want them at the next meeting?
He does.
You do?
That's his suggestion, is that they come to the
Yeah.
May 14th
So
meeting.
we don't come to the 30th, at least they know, I mean, I know they're gonna get an updated of what happened tonight, but that way that's 15 days, what are we doing?
Yeah, so I will send him, as I always do, if you choose to vote, I will send them the results of the vote, by certified mail, you know, as required and like always, so that they receive it within the next couple of days. And then, you know, if you vote to have them come, then 2 weeks from now, they can provide you with a status update.
That's fine.
Okay.
Move to require the owners of 41 Utility Road to conduct percolation tests and submit a proposed septic system design to the Board of Health and 3 quotes for all costs for review by May 30th, 2018. Also to come before the board at our next meeting of May 14th. If this timeline is not met, this matter will be discussed at the Board of Health meeting scheduled for June 11th, 2018, and the Board of Health may initiate enforcement actions at that time. End of motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Thank you, sir.
That one. From 62 Utility, Glades Road?
Yes.
Okay, if you you all set with that, Jen?
Yep.
Okay. Discuss and vote septic design hearing, 62 Glades Road, Westgate Surveying and Engineering, representing homeowner request for installation of septic system regarding local upgrades and variances. If you want to come forward and state your name.
My name is Frank Westgate. I did the field survey and the bulk of the plan work on this project. Plan pretty much speaks for itself. It's a required upgrade, not much choice here. We're limited for space, and as a result, we're looking for a bunch of variances. And they're listed right on the drawing. Do you people have copies of the drawing?
So you need to present to them, the status of the plan, what you're asking them to do, so if you could lay it out for them.
Oh,
This would be
okay.
their first opportunity to see it.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
All right, we can do that.
Yeah, I've seen it, it's tough, but they need to be able to see it.
Well, I must say that Jennifer did a very thorough job of reviewing this, and I don't know whether you've read her letter of comments and review or not, but she was right on it. She pointed out a number of mistakes and a number of omissions, and we've corrected those, we feel.
Okay.
But these are the list of waivers that we're looking for up here in this heavy block. There's a bunch of them. The other alternative was to raise the house and put the system underneath, but my client says the cost would be prohibitive. That was the only other.
62 Glades, can you just give me how far down Glades is that? Give me a landmark. down Glades.
So, you know, the raised public parking,
Yeah.
the house immediately to the left of the raised public parking before you get to Bailey's Causeway. So it's between a public parking space and a boat ramp. It's that single house
Okay,
on the water side.
okay, on the water side. okay.
Yep.
Yeah. It's an old dwelling. It's been there, well, I came across the plan, I think was the 1800s. It was there then.
Next place after that boat ramp, is that was an elderly place?
There's a large condo building.
Right, and I think it was an elderly. Yeah, that was.
Post office and then after Suzanne's?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You're right,
Yeah,
you're
it's
right.
also right around Bailey, it's
Right.
right at Bailey's Causeway.
Okay.
That
That's,
condo complex.
that's where it is.
All right.
And the parking lot runs all the way in this direction. So the town actually owns on all four sides of the property. The streets and the beach and the parking. But you can see how tight it is. I tried to make it work out in the front here, but the problem there was not only we were real close to the embankment, but to get the equipment in there, it's about 12 feet high. It would have been a problem, but
So I will note, as you look at this plan, that we have previously received the abutters notification. Selectmen received it and transferred it to DPW, so I just wanted to have that on record, that we received the required information.
Not much you can do, it's just a
Yeah.
it's
shoehorn.
really, I mean, it's amazing that we could do what we're doing because it has to be a certain size. And even then, we're going for the 25% reduction in square footage. That's all. We just made it. You can see by the table on the upper right, we just did make that number.
I'm amazed it worked out okay.
It's a four-bedroom, so we needed,
I'm amazed it worked out okay over
we needed 440 square feet with four-bedroom, but they allow a 25% reduction to the 330.
there.
Which is-
Right?
Yes, it is.
And I,
How big is the tank? 1,500 gallon tank?
It's 15. Pretty sure, yeah. it would be.
That's the minimum for 4 bedrooms, John?
oh, yeah.
Wait. Yeah. Yep.
110 per day per bedroom.
Times 200%.
Well, this is kind of like, how much?
We still do the sketches with the bedroom layout and the house layout?
So that was actually gonna be one of my comments. One of my comments was that a floor plan hadn't been provided, and I still don't have documentation of the floor plan.
Well, it was in that package that I sent my man on. It was one of the pages there. It's only a sketch that they did. I didn't do it.
Sorry about that.
Right.
So,
All right, Jen, I see,
Well-
sorry, go ahead.
so with the sketch, we're talking about a four-bedroom house, but I don't see 4 bedrooms. I see a dining room, a kitchen, a living
Is there
room,
a second?
one
There
bedroom.
might be a second floor plan. No?
She only gave me the one floor plan, but there's two levels to the house,
Right, so,
so,
So we need the
so that's not,
top
that's
level.
not in here.
yeah. I think your assessor records show it as a four-bedroom.
Right, but we need to actually see the floor plan. That's
Okay.
one of the local requirements, is to have a copy of the floor plan. And the sketch is fine, but we do need to actually see
The upstairs.
the complete floor plan, right?
Okay?
A lot of times what they'll do in the future is they incorporate it right on the, you could take her design and
Shrink it in.
shrink it in and fit it onto the plan, so that way it's right there, yeah.
Okay.
And it's not a big deal, believe me. I think if everybody's in agreement here, we can approve the plan, subject
So,
to
okay.
you submitting that to the agent and her approval, but the board will have done their job.
Got ya.
So this is a lot of variances,
Hmm.
a lot of requests. Jen, I see that one of you had a continuation request. Is there a reason why you would put that in?
So I provided you with 2 options. So I received the revised plan on the 25th. So I have not had a chance to fully review it, hence my question about the floor plan just being one of the things that had been requested. My design review comments is in the package that you have before you. And as Mr. Westgate has said, my comments were pretty extensive. There were 16 of them, one of which was the floor plan. So I'm providing you with the option, given that I haven't reviewed the revised plan that came in late last week, giving you the option of having it be presented today and continuing your decision, or in the alternative approve it pending both conservation approval and my re-administrative review and satisfactorily addressing the comments. I just gave you both options to think about.
Yeah, there you go. Number 14, I have requested input from the water department relative to the SAS location and water line. Is that the main water line out in the street?
No, so the water line, so the original design, and I can't see that one, the original design had the leaching field, or the water line going through the leaching field.
Mm-hmm.
And I received comments back, which I provided on March 22nd, and we discussed. The water department does recognize that the lot is tight, but would prefer, if possible, for the water line to go around the leaching area, even if only a foot away, and sleeve it appropriately. Regardless of the final configuration of the water line to the septic components, his department will conduct an inspection.
Well,
So that had been the water department request.
Yeah, since then, we've squared that away. The water department, conferring with the highway department, they don't want to, see, the main is on the other side of the road. They don't want to break up that road,
Yeah.
okay? So the decision was made, and they agreed between them, that we would move the shut-off valve as far away as we could. And put it in the sidewalk.
See construction note H.
Right. So it's going in the sidewalk, and the sidewalk is in pretty bad shape, so it doesn't really matter, but we'll repair it anyway.
Yeah, but that's good, you had communication, and obviously, they don't want a backflow of an issue, and that's a huge health issue. I mean, that could affect a lot of people,
Yes.
yeah.
Right.
So, as long as you understand the basis of why this is,
Right.
yeah.
Right. My letter of comment in reply to her comments, you don't have that, but that addressed that situation also.
I actually don't think I have that,
Oh,
because I would have printed that to give them the
Oh,
complete
wow.
package. So I actually don't have that, but I do see it on the plan, your
Well-
comment H.
Do you want to continue for another 2 weeks, or would you be more comfortable with that? Given highlight of 16 things, I mean, we picked through them now, or is there anything major you see?
this is my copy of that. Why don't you take that?
Oh, great.
Wow, I thought I had
Oh,
that
yeah,
package.
I didn't get this either.
I gave you 4 plan copies, and in
Right.
one
This
one
is-
set, I gave you the letter and the floor plan.
This is the only thing I received,
Wow.
was the Form 9A, this.
Well, what prompted this?
So the property was sold. A Title V inspection report had not been conducted. So I contacted the real estate agent, who contacted the buyer and seller. They then contracted with a Title V inspector to conduct a Title V inspection per my order. She can't sell a property without having a Title V inspection. The Title V inspection confirmed that it failed, and then I sent that new owner, Mr. Heap, a
Right.
letter providing him with the typical 1 year to upgrade, and then he's been working
Yeah.
with Mr. Westgate
He retained me.
to submit the original plan and then make the revisions per my comments.
Okay, that's good. So is that a yes, you want us to continue this, Jen, or?
So the sale's already gone through, right?
Oh, yes, he's owned it for a
Sold
while.
last
They've done
fall.
extensive work there.
Yeah, so it's, the system's working and functioning,
Well,
right? It-
No.
No, it's-
No.
Oh, so they're waiting to get in, so they want to
Yeah.
move
Right.
ASAP.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
They're
all
in
right.
Florida.
Well, I was just gonna say, well, they're, all right, yeah, no, I got you.
Okay.
I'm just thinking another 2 weeks if it would, however you would, if you think there's
Well,
enough of this.
regardless, we're gonna,
Have to review it again with making sure everything's,
well,
Well, there's a choice, if everyone is comfortable with me reviewing it and working back and forth with Mr. Westgate, then you can approve it conditionally, based on.
Well, that's what I'm thinking, as long as
conditionally approve
we're
it.
all right with the variances and how
there's a
the,
lot of variances here, there's a lot of stuff here.
yeah, the main layout is, I mean, it's a shoehorn. You, as a licensed engineer within the state of Massachusetts, you have to abide by certain things, and there's not much there you can do, but we as the town have certain things we have to look at, but we can entrust the agent to follow through with that,
So,
you know?
so if we approve this on those conditions, He's gotta go to Concom next.
Right.
What is the status
We've
of-
been to Concom, and because they know we're in front of you, they keep postponing until you make your decision.
All right, so,
Are you before them again on Monday?
I think it is Monday.
Their
I'm pretty
next
sure.
meeting, you're, at the
Yes,
last
it
meeting, they
is.
said,
It
okay,
is,
so that would be
yes.
Monday.
So you don't see anything major here that,
no.
No, in terms of the variances and having to redesign
It's
anything,
gonna have to be done anyways, so
Yeah.
as long as we give Jen the autonomy to be able to work with Mr. Westgate and push it through, if you will. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah, and gets the rest.
yeah, well,
So
we've looked at it and we
So
don't,
he can go to
yeah.
Concom on Monday and do what he has to do.
And
and
move forward,
and
yeah.
I'll be able to provide, just like I indicated on the last one, you know, conservation and I work well together in terms of we provide each other a status of our reviews. So I'm, you know, obviously in this case would do the same thing. I'd review the revised plan, work with you if I have any other questions or revisions like needing the second floor of the floor plan. And then, you know, giving Concom the update.
Yeah.
When we do it.
Sure, yeah.
All right. All right, you're okay with that?
That's fine.
All right. Make a motion to approve the septic repair plan pending approval by Conservation Commission in satisfactory addressing Board of Health administrative comments with Mr. Westgate, working with our health agent, Jen Keith, with the local upgrades requested that include: 1, reduction in setback between the SAS and the following. And there's a sub A, B, and C under these. Foundation from required 20 feet to a half a foot. Coastal bank from required 50 feet to 42 feet. And the water line from required 10 feet to 0 feet. 2, reduction in setback between the septic tank and the following. And again, there's an A and a B underneath. A, foundation from required 10 feet to 1.5 feet. And B, water line from required 10 feet to 0 feet. 3, a 25% reduction in the size of the SAS from the required size associated with 440 gallons per day to 330 gallons per day. And with the following variances requested. Number 1, reduction required setback between the SAS and the property line from 10 feet to a half a foot. 2, reduction required setback between the septic tank and the property line from 10 feet to a half a foot. And required in the reduction required spacing between trenches from required 12 feet to 2 feet. And last but not least, number 4, reduction in the size of required 5-foot overdig within the vicinity of the sidewalk, dwelling foundation, and gas line. And that's it.
So, yeah, and that, I added in that,
I had it in the front, yeah.
yeah, no, I mean, the agent will,
Yes.
yeah, so, second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, Mr. Westgate, you have your work cut out for you.
Okay, and your next meeting then is,
Well,
So
You're all set with
you're all
us.
set with us.
Oh,
So
wow.
now- So.
You're right here, that's you two.
Okay.
Yep.
You know, I'll review it this week, get back to you. In the meantime, you know, to get me page 2, you know, top floor of the
Yes.
floor plan at least. And then we'll work together to get anything else squared away.
okay. Sounds great.
And then you can go before Conservation Commission.
They're doing the right thing, with getting that fixed, get rid of the cesspool, so we're happy to help you out, so.
Thank you so
that's,
much.
Yeah,
Okay.
our
All
pleasure,
right.
thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
Yep.
All right, new business, director's report.
Okey dokey. Okay, I'll start at the top, with food, like we usually do. So we had, 28, inspections conducted between March 27th and April 4th. Critical violations observed included, leaking hand sink, walk-in freezer not at temperature, prep sink dirty, storage racks dirty, food not held at proper temperatures, glass and dishwasher not sanitizing, and food not dated. Obviously re-inspections were conducted when needed. I don't have those reports to offer you at this point, but that's current status of the reports that I've been given for review. Also on the food topic, we are finalizing a farmer's market specific application package, which hopefully will streamline for the applicants everything they need to provide us based on what they're selling. and will hopefully streamline primarily for Joan all of the follow-up necessary for missing or needed items. So hopefully we can get that finished this week.
And that will be for, like, when they have it outside and like they do have it inside?
Yep, so so there'll be a box at the top, check whether you're doing summer, check whether you're doing winter, and then provide us the, associated information. So we've been working on that together for a while, so hopefully we can get that finalized with Nellie's input as well. Second thing, we are prepping for pool and beach seasons. The pool application packages have been sent. We have received one partial application package. So Joan is following up with them. I am praying and planning to send out our camp packages. As I mentioned at the last meeting, the state revised the regulations in March. So I'm reviewing those revised regulations, updating all of our forms and application pieces so that I can send them out and also be able to give guidance to our camps on what has changed. So I am praying that that happens this week. Housing, we have one new case since the last meeting. Nuisance cases, we have one less than the last meeting, but I'm anticipating based on newly received complaints that we will probably have 2 new ones to add to the list. We're still following 5 environmental releases. 1 permanent solution closure report has been submitted, so I've got to take a look at that. So hopefully I'll be able to report soon that I'm only tracking 4 instead of 5, but we'll see. Septic, we are working on post-storm damage assessments and repairs with several property owners in various parts of town. We have 3 operation and maintenance repairs that are outstanding, which is the same as the last time we met. We have 1 outstanding O&M contract, same as last time we met. I am currently in the process of reviewing 2 new plans. Those have been received on April 25th or sooner. And reviewing 1 revised plan received on the 25th, which is the one that was just before you on Glades. We currently have 14 failures, 6 of which have been issued no occupancy determinations. 2 have been installed but need as-built to issue certificates of compliance. So that's a step in the right direction. We have 2 in enforcement, 1 of which was we discussed today. And then we have 6 that are still within that initial 1-year repair period that we've given them. And I think that's it. Those are the highlights.
Cool. Old business, other business, administrative invoice approvals.
I think I have a few of those. In fact, I have quite a few of those.
Well, there we go, look at that.
Spending money.
Say something, someone else's money, but this is our money, we are taxpayers.
But all budgeted.
Observation pits? 44 Ocean Ave?
Yep, it took a day and a half.
No way, was the soil just bad?
I don't know, I haven't asked the witness.
That seems like a lot for a single-family home.
Do you know what all these perks are for?
You mean?
Well, I mean, I'm just curious. Sometimes people try and move people. You don't know what they're doing.
For that particular one?
Oh, for any.
Well, so typically they're either repairs or, lately we've been seeing subdivided properties, which would take more time.
This is new construction here, I'm assuming.
Yep, with 3 perk tests, that's new construction.
Yeah,
Yep.
but it's also an assessment number adjacent to 92 Neilgate.
We're seeing quite a bit of new construction.
Joey been keeping busy.
Yeah, this.
Quiet as a church mouse, though. No complaints.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.